is this? Wow. Nick Fuentes. How y'all doing? I don't know what the heck is going on. Good evening. Give everybody some time to come on in. Lord have mercy. We are in here today. What's going on? Come on in here. Hope y'all have had a great hump day Wednesday. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, Ryan McGill, how you doing? Shout out to my mods. How's it going? Gerald Hammonds. What's going on? Let me see. She should be at home with her children, enjoying time with them instead of worrying about fame, fortune, clicks, and views on the internet. She's more concerned about attention strangers than family. Yeah. She's definitely you know, learning the hard way right now. Like this just ain't the way to go. I get, if they had a friendship, I think it would be more important to see her by his wife's side at this time. But I find it peculiar that Candace has not been seen or, said anything about her speaking with Erica Kirk. Unless I missed a video. Perhaps I missed a video. Maybe I missed something where she did talk to Erica Kirk. But let me know if I'm wrong. Has Candace said anything about having a conversation with Erica Kirk? She didn't go to the memorial funeral service. She didn't do any of that. She didn't, have any. She's pulling up text messages and stuff saying, we were still friends. Okay. How are you not talking to his wife? That's my thing. All right. So if he was your friend, I don't understand how this dynamic works with her and his wife, who's now a widow. Like, you think she would? Hey, guys, I talked to his wife last week, every day actually, and I'm just making sure that she has what she needs. I've been by her side, consoling her, blah, blah, blah. I find that to be a little peculiar to me. It's just me. It's my opinion from what I've observed and the lack of her not saying anything about her and Erica Kirk's relationship at all. It's almost like it's non-existent. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to all of you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. 13 people in. Let's get those likes up. Let's get more people coming in. We got some Umar coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow. And wait, is it tomorrow? I know I had scheduled a few lives. Yeah, tomorrow is Nature Boy. Because, Nature Boy and Carbonation Coat still a thing. And then Friday and Saturday, we're going to be doing watch parties for Lennon Honor's interview with Marianne Lorient. And then on Friday and Saturday, we'll have a watch party on the interview Lennon Honor did with Umar's nephew. And yes, we're still waiting on Umar to produce his mother. He's been real quiet, but quiet don't mean he's doing the right thing by his mom either. All he has to do is say she's okay. Let the police do a wellness check or something. Let his siblings, while he's so quiet right now, let his siblings come over there and see their mother. But he'd rather be a piece of crap. So, alrighty. Let's get all of the comments in, and then we're going to get started, you guys. I'm not going to hold you all too long. Welcome in. Hey, Bernice, how you doing? I hope I'm saying your name right. Hello. See some new people coming in. Everybody speak to everybody. Saint, how you doing? Fantastic mod. I got some of the best mods on the internet. All of my mods are the greatest mods on the internet. And never let anyone tell y'all any different. I absolutely love my mods, and I make sure they're happy and good. I'll reach out to Candia, make sure she's good. I know it's school time is busy for her, but make sure all of my peoples are okay, because mods, you guys, they hold it down, and it's volunteer for them. They don't have to. So I appreciate it, and I'm humbled by my mods having my back and supporting me here. That warms my heart. So I appreciate my mods. Thank you all so much for being the greatest mods on YouTube. Thank you so much. So shout out to my mods, shout out to the members, the supporters, the viewers. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button and subscribing to the Lady Luck Club. And let's see what's happening. Francisca, how you doing? What's going on? I find her not going to comfort her good friend's widow weird. Very weird. Exactly. I do too. I find it to be weird. So we are going to be, let me go ahead and pull up. You guys make sure you check out the video that I did on the South Fulton Mayor here. South Fulton Mayor Khalid Kamal. Sorry. Khalid Kamal. I call him Rafiki. Hello, Rafiki. He knows their way. Because he keeps going to Africa on tax dollars. So I did a video about him pleading not guilty to criminal charges of trespassing from 2023. And honestly, he fired his attorney. He trying to be pro se. And I just find that to be hilarious. The guy was representing him pro bono for 2 years. I mean, good grief. So when it comes down to it, let's just say this is someone we don't need as mayor again, and he's trying to seek re-election. We don't have time for your dumb nonsense, Rafiki. Follow Rafiki. He knows their way. Show your ass out here. Go sit down. Go sit down. We got enough going on. So we got about 3 videos that I do want to check out. One is going to be from Cherie Denise. I think Candia sent me this. I want to say Candia sent me these Cherie Denise videos. That's the content creator's name. Cherie, Cheere, Denise. Either Candia or Saint, one of you sent me the links to Cherie Denise. And then we have Savage Nation with Michael Savage. And then we have this is one, I think Ruslan KD. It's another one that was sent to me. And these people are just kind of like, Candace needs to stop with the rhetoric. It's going to get people hurt. It's going to get people jacked up. If she doesn't have evidence, like, you can ask questions, but the allegations to where you're insinuating one group of people did something over the other, like, how's that any different than in, when some terrorist group claims that, another group of individuals did something with no proof of evidence? It's like, don't do that. You put people's lives and safety in danger because they become automatic targets. And it's just unnecessary. Just ask your questions and do your research and stuff and present your information. I think we're all asking questions about the shooter, the second shooter video coming out. I've even covered it. It was hard for me to see any bullet going to the back of Charlie Kirk's head, but I did see splatter, and I did, like a 3D model of the blood vessels in the head and neck area to try to understand how that could have gone from what looks like more of the right side of the head, not necessarily the flat out back of the head, but more so coming from an angle through the left side of his neck. Like, it's just hard to kind of imagine that from where he was sitting, but I did show it, put it out there, and it does bring some questions up. I mean, I've been asking about the weapon from Tyler Robinson and how to get on the roof. So there are legitimate questions and loopholes that have not been filled in. I've gone over the indictment myself in the LLC. I still have questions about that. I feel like there's some information when it comes to, pointing out the events of what occurred, and you're going on surveillance cameras. Use all of the surveillance cameras. But if you don't even relay how the gun appeared on the roof, that's a question I've been asking myself since it occurred, since he was shot. It's like, where did the weapon come from? Did he bring it in the backpack? Did he assemble it? Did he put it together? I even looked up the Mauser weapon itself and, shared their information about the weapon, because I'm not a weapons person. So we have legitimate questions. But it's kind of like, you can't let it go to the point where it's creating this anger and animosity in you against one group of individuals based on their race or ethnicity or religion or anything like that. You can't just automatically assume and target one group of people, when so far what we do know is Tyler Robinson has been charged. I don't think he's Jewish, but I could be wrong. But you would have to work with the facts you work with, and then you continue to challenge and ask some questions that fill in the blanks. There are a lot of loopholes in the indictment. But not one time did I ever have to say, oh, it has something to do with Israel. No, you don't have to do that. It's so crazy. So that's just, as an independent journalist, I just don't even see how that would be beneficial to anyone to go that route and just automatically start blaming a group of people. It takes away from what's more important. What's important is that the shooter needs to be caught. The loopholes, the blanks need to be filled in. There needs to be a thorough investigation on all the surveillance cameras. And someone needs, where's the autopsy report? I personally will read that myself. If the autopsy report was released, I would read that myself. Or at least the information from the autopsy report is added into the final indictment charges for Tyler Robinson. We need to know what happened anatomically. So that's the angle that I'm looking at it from. To me, that's just keeping it about the facts. And then, of course, having, some empathy and considering his wife and children. He has family that has to listen to our, that may be watching our YouTube videos and stuff. The last thing they need is someone that's supposed to be a friend to him or was allegedly a friend to him, sitting here just attacking Israel. You don't have to do that to ask questions. So that's my 2 cents on that, y'all. We're going to get started. This is going to be the first video is from, and I'll put the link to her video. It's from Cherie Denise YouTube channel. Hold on a second. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit the like button. We're just kind of going to go through 2 or 3 good videos for the evening. And I will not hold you all forever. And we'll have some open discussion. Because I just think it needs to be had. We need to have some dialogue. All right, so let me make myself small. And I will drop the link. So if you guys haven't heard of Cherie Denise, she has a pretty sizable following. She has over 123,000 supporters. So yeah, you guys make sure you check out her channel. I just put the link down there for the video. Everybody speak to everybody. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, very weird. Very weird. Hey, Victoria, how you doing? 22 people watching. Y'all hit that like button. Read, what's going on? Candace Owens has morphed into a pathological liar. Yeah, what's worse is that she already has one head of state suing her for defamation. And the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, is going to be producing scientific evidence to prove she was born a woman and is a woman and will die a woman. Plus, she gave birth 3 times. Like, the fact that anyone feels like they need to do that because she keeps saying that this woman is a man. It's so ridiculous. It's almost like her pride and ego won't allow her to be wrong, and it's going to get her jacked up. It's going to cost her some money too, because they're going to have that added on whatever test they're going to do. Yeah, that's going to be part of that damages they want to get back out of her. She valued at 220 million. Yeah, you can't say you broke, Candace, because we all know you're not. All that money you made off of t-shirts and all this other stuff with Brigitte Macron, the 8-part series and all of that. Yeah, they're gonna ask for all that right back out of that judgment. Yes, they will. So yeah, she's getting to the point where she's just lying, on major things that you can't even prove with evidence and documentation. It's just, man, get a clue. What's going on? Hey, Chad Mons and LLC, how you doing? Her Jews, Israel hatred has blinded her. It is ungodly. Yeah, it's getting to the point. Hatred and just the continuous false attacks. You're making false statements against people. You're accusing them of anything as opposed to just asking questions in general about a specific situation, like how did the gun get on the roof? You don't have to talk about Israel or Jewish individuals to simply ask, how did the gun get on the roof? Big difference. It's so crazy. I started going on gun enthusiast YouTube channels, and there is no way the weapon they said was used. Yeah, I said the same thing. And the video that I saw, I played yesterday. I don't know if you guys checked out the video I posted up about, the new video evidence about him being shot in the head. I said in that video, there's no way that the same Mauser gun was used. Not for the splatter that I saw. It has to be a totally different weapon we're talking about. And I'm not a gun enthusiast. I don't know anything about guns, but I do know that the size of the bullet would make a huge difference when it comes to blood splatter, because I do know science. So it's like there's no way that gun and the weapon, the bullets you have to use for that type of gun hit him in the back of the head. It's no way, because the splatter would be much larger, because the hole would be bigger. So it's just so crazy. So many questions. Hey, Laura. Shout out to my mod. Hey, I am. Welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here. You guys ready to get started? Right, good point. Yeah, I look at it from a scientific view for a reason. It keeps me grounded on the facts and the evidence at hand, the video evidence that we can see, the information that we can read in the indictment. I'm not a conspiratorial person. That's just not my style. And I just personally don't, I just never been one where I was, excited about, conspiracy theories. It's just not my thing. I go on facts and evidence, and then I formulate my opinion from there. But I can at least tell you where my opinion comes from. But what she's doing is just flat out accusations that can lead to some very, very dangerous stuff. And it's just, and she said that the only way she'll stop is either Erica Kirk has to say stop or her husband. And it's like, neither one of them should have to tell you to stop. The question is, does Erica Kirk know that you're saying all of this? So, Candace, we have questions. I know, right, Laura? Shout out to Laura. Laura's also my admin here in StreamYard. So if there's anything you guys need as far as, questions or comments or anything that's going on technically with StreamYard and I don't see it, Laura will definitely send me an email. She will reach out to me. So, raise up concern with Laura here. And all my mods are very good with emailing me and giving me a heads up. Hey, we can't hear you. Your screen went black. Lady Luck, what are you saying? So they're real good with that. So they saying the bullet was under his neck and his spine allegedly stopped it. Yeah, and then I heard in another video that a post was put up. Someone spoke with the medical examiner, and the medical examiner told them that the bullet was lodged in the shoulder, in the muscle tissue. That's why I want to see the autopsy report. I just don't understand why it has not been released yet. I don't get it. They will release autopsy reports. If they have to redact information, they will, but it's not uncommon to have a autopsy report released. She is complicating things. Yes, she is. Hey, Bernard Expression. I'm sorry. Bernard Expression, how you doing? Hey, Cunty. Aw. Thank you so much. You guys hit the like button. Subscribe. We're going to hit 30,000 subscribers. I'm trying to do it in 6 days, and I need you all's help to do that. So let's subscribe. Let's get 30,000 subs by September 30th. It can be done. There are 3,000 people that can be reached out to that can subscribe and enjoy some of this great content and enjoy great dialogue here in the Lady Luck Club and get some Dr. Squatch products. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. We do also have a $25 goal in the live stream that goes towards the expenses of the channel and support of this content being made. So sometimes we hit it, sometimes we don't, but the $25 goal is there. And I appreciate any contribution. It warms my heart to see people even want to come in and enjoy and engage in conversation. Make sure you're engaging in the chat, asking questions. All of that helps, and hitting that like button. Yes, the Dr. Squatch products will be tagged in the description of this video once it's concluded as well. Thank you so much, Candice, for the reminder. Get a clue. Candace better get some security. Yeah, many people gonna need security. Hey, Charlotte Watts. If she's saying that, people are out to get her and other people, Candace can afford extra security detail. She can't stay in the house forever. That's why I don't understand why, don't make it worse. I mean, just don't make it worse. Yeah. It's crazy. It's been a busy September. Let's help LLC hit her $25 live goal. Thank you so much. Brooksville, Florida. Welcome. Yeah, the guy that tried to shoot Trump at the golf course. What's his name? Yeah, he was found guilty today. I'm gonna do a separate video on that. Yeah, he was found guilty, and then he tried to stab himself in the neck with a pin. It's like, what are you doing, dude? How did you think you were gonna get away with this? You tried to attack or shoot the presidential candidate and Donald Trump, and then you didn't think you would be found guilty? He was found guilty today, and then he tried to self-terminate by stabbing himself in the neck with a pin. It's so crazy. Namely, the POTUS, and we all know how petty POTUS is. Yeah, it's something else. How is everyone? Rules of the chat. Please be respectful to the host. Thank you all so much. All right, y'all ready? We about to get started. Thank you, Lord. I'm renewing the membership. I appreciate that. Candace and Joe Rogan are both crashing out. Yeah. Candace, I think she probably crashing out even more. Defamation of character. And then she's doing it under the guise of being hurt. I don't get it. I respect your opinion. I don't know much about, I didn't watch Charlie Kirk videos. I didn't follow him like that. But I don't know much about his wife or anything. So yeah, I did you all see the funeral? I don't even think, did I watch it? I think I saw a clip of her saying that she forgives the shooter. That's what happened. That's all I saw. First time I knew I would catch up, look at something out of your platform today, and watch to listen in on your show of Umar on a couple of occasions. First time knew I would. Oh, cool. Awesome. I'm glad. Listen, we got Friday and Saturday is going to be about Umar until he produces his mother. He needs to do something. Yeah, I mean, he's incredibly quiet, and I don't know why. They are legit trying to make him Superman post-mortem. Yeah, I think it was asked about, someone did a video about him being a martyr. And it's just unfortunate. But like I said, I did not follow him. I didn't watch his videos or anything like that. I didn't keep up with it. I just know I saw someone get assassinated on national television, and that was just hard to watch, knowing kids were there. College students there. You on a school campus. You got people around. It's so crazy. Hola, I'm feeling better, family. Artiste, I hope you're doing well. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. No problem. Mr. Farmer can afford security. Yes, he can. He can afford a lot of things. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, shout out to my mother. 149 super sticker. Thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate it. Go so as to the $25 goal. Thank you so much. Plus, renewing the membership. So make sure you guys grab a membership. People are crazy. They are. All right, y'all. Y'all ready? We'll get some more comments in as we go through the videos. But I'm ready to get started. I hope you all as well. So we're going to start off with this video here. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear. Let's get to it.
Flex Operation Mocking Pastor. Why don't you focus on being more honest as a pastor and giving as much information as you can possibly provide so that we can continue this investigation? If you can't do this, I'm going to have to ask for your silence. Okay?
Be quiet.
Having seen what has happened over the course of the Charlie Kirk investigation that she has single-handedly decided is for her to do, and it's her burden to bear. I've been so appalled by the way she's behaved that it has really made me question everything she said, but then also made me question what was wrong in my heart that needed to know all the dirt. You know, it's my pride. I just wanted to know what was really true, and not because I love the truth so much, but because it made me feel powerful to have the facts, and I wasn't going to be deluded. Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Chair Denise. I will not take too much of your time. I just wanted to make sure that I made a video about this, and I hope you can stay for the end, at least for the beginning, because that's a real part I want you to hear. What I want to tell you today is that I'm really sorry. I just want to apologize from my whole heart to you, because over the weekend I began to feel a lot of conviction that I've shared stories on my channel that I did not know to be 100% fact, and I shared them with you as though they were God's honest truth. And I was wrong to do that. Specifically, I've been convicted that I shared the story about Brigitte Macron and acted as though I had some kind of insight into the reality of this person's life that I couldn't possibly have. The story of Brigitte Macron, having met Emmanuel when he was 14 and she groomed him and is now married to him, is wild enough. Exactly. Many documents show it. He's spoken about it. She's spoken about it. His family's spoken about it. That's fact. And it's been a story that people have known his entire public life. That the relationship he has with his wife began when he was 14. That's wild.
Yeah.
But for me to behave as though that story wasn't wild enough, I had to go off into realms unknown and repeat to you stories that I had heard was wrong. So over the weekend, I took down every video I could find where I talked about that, and I just hit them. I just put them on private.
Y'all, that is big of her to do this. I mean, she has a huge channel. Her videos have thousands of views, and she said at the end of the day, she's doing the right thing. It's her conscience. See, it's very possible to have empathy and to do the right thing because of integrity and ethics than anything else. What's going on, Tracy? To all the new people coming in. Mostly so much good and bad. Yeah, it is. Yep. Absolutely. They said the bullet broke into shards when it hit his spine, and that how part of it got in his shoulder. That makes sense. That would make sense, especially if it was one of those type of bullets that kind of exploded on impact, turned into shrapnel, so to speak. Yeah, that would make sense. This is. Did I miss somebody? Hey, Reed. Hey, God bless you all. God bless you too, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just want to make sure I got y'all comments in. I will be joining you. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you so much. So, for her to be saying this it's a huge step, right? I mean, she's apologizing for and I've even said this. It's horrible in and of itself about how Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron met. I have 2 boys, and I would not want my 17 or 13-year-old, coming home talking about some 30-something-year-old woman is married with 3 kids already. Of his aspirations of trying to marry her. I'm like, what the hell going on? I'm going to your school tomorrow. Like, that would be a natural reaction. Get my child away from the school, away from this woman. There are women sitting in prison as well for having relations with teenage boys. They're still underage. Now, we can't control the laws of France, but just morally speaking, it is bad. But that, like she said, that's bad in and of itself. You don't need to add on the, any allegation of her being a man, talking about she's her own brother and blah, blah, blah. You don't need to add any of that nonsense on when you don't have evidence to prove it, scientific evidence to prove it. Because that's what you need for it to be irrefutable. Scientific evidence, DNA, science rules at the end of the day. And you got Candace out here still saying that she's a man. She's still saying it. And this content creator is saying, you know what? I'm sorry. I just have to take it back because this is amazing.
Today is that I'm really sorry. I just want to apologize from my whole heart to you, because over the weekend I began to feel a lot of conviction that I've shared stories on my channel that I did not know to be 100% fact, and I shared them with you as though they were God's honest truth. And I was wrong to do that. Specifically, I've been convicted that I shared the story about Brigitte Macron and acted as though I had some kind of insight into the reality of this person's life that I couldn't possibly have. The story of Brigitte Macron, having met Emmanuel when he was 14 and she groomed him and is now married to him, is wild enough. Many documents show it. He's spoken about it. She's spoken about it. His family's spoken about it. That's fact. And it's been a story that people have known his entire public life. That the relationship he has with his wife began when he was 14. That's wild. But for me to behave as though that story wasn't wild enough, I had to go off into realms unknown and repeat to you stories that I had heard was wrong. So over the weekend, I took down every video I could find where I talked about that, and I just hit them. I just put them on private because I don't want those videos out there anymore. I was really convicted that I had taken as the gospel truth things that Candace Owens had said to me with so much conviction that I just assumed she was right. But I don't blame Candace. I blame my own prideful heart that thought I need to know what's really going on in the world. I wanted to believe so much that I had the inside scoop that I was not only willing to believe it myself, but then peddle it to you as though there were facts and as though there were actual receipts for all the stuff that is, quite frankly, supposition. Yep. Some of the things that she shared, I didn't even get into because I wasn't really sure how to explain it, but I would have if I could have figured out how to explain it. And I was ashamed. One of the videos I ended up taking down was the best performing video I've ever made. And all I could see there was shame when I looked at those numbers, thinking, over 600,000 times people watched me say things I wasn't even sure if they were true. Wow. I didn't have firsthand knowledge. I didn't have firsthand account. Nobody had said any of this to me. I never read any primary sources, but I had the gall to tell you that it was true. And I'm really, really sorry that I did that. It's not new to me to have to come to you guys and say, I'm sorry about this, that, and the other. I feel like most of the time, like, oh, I got this wrong. I'm sorry about that. But I just want you to know that this is a channel that you can come to, that if I make a mistake, I will come to you and say, I was wrong to do that. Now, I don't know. It might come out that everything I told you was true and that everything Candace Owens shared in her series was the God honest truth, and that everything that she shared was 110% accurate.
Wow.
However, having seen what has happened over the course of the Charlie Kirk investigation that she has single-handedly decided is for her to do, and it's her burden to bear, I've been so appalled by the way she's behaved that it has really made me question everything she said, but then also made me question what was wrong in my heart that needed to know all the dirt. It's my pride. I just wanted to know what was really true, and not because I loved the truth so much, but because it made me feel powerful to have the facts and I wasn't going to be deluded. That's really what it came down to. I think so much of the time, my bent towards conspiracy really comes because I want to have the inside scoop. I don't want to be a dummy, I want to know who's really running the world. But if it means that I'm willing to swallow something hook, line, and sinker because it makes me feel powerful to have the inside scoop, then what kind of intellectual am I, Wow. Again, it might be that everything she said was true, but I don't know if it's true. And I felt compelled to take down those videos. If any of you guys come across a video, maybe like a Friday News Roundup or something, where I reference it, even in the slightest, please tell me, and I will just put that video on private as well. I think I've been particularly appalled by Candace Owens' behavior because I think a lot of us thought that, well, some of her reporting was certainly unorthodox. We had come to believe that she had sources and references that we just didn't have because our network wasn't as big, but that surely she was telling us the truth because look at the way she was telling it to us. And, there was always a part of me that felt, and I've said this to you all, I even said it when I gave the reporting about it.
And that's true. I mean, how the information is relayed plays a big role when it comes to, free speech and free press, because you're trying to relay it oftentimes in an effort to where you have either people asking questions about it or they're gaining insight or gaining knowledge. of something they may or may not have known. Or it could just be for confirmation purposes. Maybe it's something that other people have been thinking, and you're able to articulate it in a way where it's like, you know what, you saying exactly what I've been saying all this time, and you just know how to say it plain and speak plain about it, or to be informative, or I mean, or just pure entertainment. All of that makes a difference in how the information is relayed out. We can all report the same information, but as you guys can see, look how creative some content, I will say, including myself, content creators like myself can be when you're talking about Brigitte Macron, when you're talking about this story. Everyone has their own little way of presenting the information. Some it resonates, with others better than other content creators. Some just stick strict to the facts. Some have, a lot of edits done in the videos, and they can, add in the bells and whistles. Some just come in and do a dialogue. How that information is presented does have some level of influence on how it's received and retained. So for her to say at the end of the day, you know, the part about how they met was bad in and of itself, she could have stuck with that because that is factually based. It is part of their testimony. It's part of what they stated in their complaint. So, it's basically taking their testimony and discussing it and using that. But when it came to the aspect of Brigitte being a man, I mean, it just went straight to Nutsville. It was almost like, why are you doing this? You gotta sometimes ask, and it's okay. I challenge people to ask me, okay, what's the intent behind this reporting? And if I am doing it for people to be informed and knowledgeable, or to be educated, or to just share information, you'll know that the way I'm presenting it. But if you have to sit back and ask, okay, why is she even talking about it? Why is this a topic? Why is she focused on the First Lady of France being a man and all this other stuff? What's really driving her to go hard and all in on this story? That's a question so many of us ask. Why is this an issue? Why are you focused on France? You know what's going on in the US? You could be talking about anything in the United States of America. And look what look what happened for her to say, okay, now I have a reason to shift my focus and attention from Brigitte Macron to now Charlie Kirk, someone she still has not proven she's talked to recently. Because if the last time she had any interaction with Charlie Kirk was a year ago on a tour, I don't know how you can say you're still close. I have yet to see anything where her and Charlie Kirk were hanging out together, or they text each other, or did anything recently, especially leading up to the, right before he passed away. So, and then you don't see her talk about Erica at all. She doesn't say anything about any memories she has with Erica Kirk. So obviously she has no close relationship with his wife. And yet that was her brother and best friend. That how does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. So Candace puts stuff out there and presents it in a way where you're walking away with more questions than answers. You're walking away even asking, what was the purpose of her doing an 8-part series about Brigitte Macron being born a man, allegedly, and she's trying to make it a fact? What is the intent for this? And it comes down to, look at the number of views she says she got on her videos. Candace is getting millions of views on her videos. She could easily do a live stream and have over 500,000 people in that live stream. For her, this is how she's building her platform up. Because I can't think of any other reason why you would go hard in on the First Lady of France. Never mind the fact we have a First Lady in the United States of America, you're not studying at all. Or any other country. So what she's saying, what Cherie is saying here is so valid. And as content creators, it's something that I should not have people walking away from my videos and my live streams or anything that I'm sharing, wondering why is she posting this up? Unless I'm saying, hey, I'm leaving a mystery here, just a hint. I want you all to be surprised. Other than that, you all should be walking away having learned something or been informed or just been entertained in a manner to where you're not asking what was the purpose of this. Because the purpose should be very clear. And it should be clear in what you're presenting and in the way you present it. Candace doesn't do that. It's so crazy. She leaves everyone confused. Now we're all sitting here wondering, how did you go from hammering in some nonsense that you still can't prove with evidence on Brigitte Macron to now you're just deadlock focused on Charlie Kirk, while you still can't even talk about one good memory you have with Erica Kirk? Like, make that make sense.
About the Brigitte Macron story, that I sometimes felt that she was basing things off of her ability to say something with conviction rather than with the facts. And the number of times she referenced a source but never told us who the source was, or said that she'd get back to us but hasn't. But because she said it with authority, I know I just believed it. But she has made claims that were baseless. And specifically with this Charlie Kirk situation, I've already shared my feelings about the fact that I believed she needed to sit on the investigation until they'd had the dignity of burying him. And this idea that in Erica's grief, she had to rise up and find the energy to tell Candace Owens to be quiet if she wanted Candace Owens to be quiet. You know, Erica's not supposed to be planning the funeral and the memorial service. She's supposed to be caring about what all the goons online are saying about her dead husband, you know, and supposed to be making specific calls and telling people specifically, I agree with that narrative, I don't agree with that one. I mean, she doesn't have the time for that, you know? And of course I was upset when Candace Owens said that Charlie Kirk was too smart to be a Protestant because it's just divisive. But there's all these people who are shooting down Candace Owens' narrative. And
when did she say that?
Recently,
wait.
There were two things
down
Candace Owens' narrative. And most recently, upset when Candace Owens said that Charlie Kirk was too smart to be a Protestant because it's just divisive. But there's all these people who are shooting down Candace.
Why would she say that? Now she got something against Protestants? What's wrong with her? What is Candace? I mean, what does she claim to be? I mean, she says she's Christian, but what I don't know. I don't want to say religion. She talking about, what is she? She talking about you too smart to be a Protestant. What does that mean? I mean, what did Protestants do to her? Why did Candace say this crazy stuff? Good grief.
Owens' narrative. And most recently, there were two things that I saw this weekend that I just thought, man, I have trafficked with the wrong person, and I owe you all an apology. Candace Owens became belligerent.
So Candace is Catholic, but why is she putting down Protestants? What did the Protestant people do to her? Candace says some outrageous stuff. And you know what? And that's a good point. I mean, she can talk about anything going on in the U.S. and draw the attention of at least 5 million people and have a huge influence on her platform. And she knows it. Her words resonate with a lot of people. Why in the world would she say stuff like that? Even if she's Catholic, what is going on? Why you need to sit here and say that somebody's too smart to be a Protestant? Did she want him to convert to Catholicism? Was he Catholic? I'm assuming he's Protestant as well, for her to say that. What difference does it make, Candace? Isn't the idea to be Christian, to be a believer of Christ? You think God is going to ask you when you on Judgment Day, are you a Protestant or Catholic? Because, you know, I'm concerned. Like, God is not going to ask that. Just like he's not going to ask if you voted for a Republican or a Democrat. You know, our politics is man-made problems. God doesn't care about our politics. He's God. He doesn't care. He doesn't want us to see division amongst humanity. He wants us to be one and united. Why is she sitting here doing that? Candace,
when Charlie Kirk's pastor came out and publicly said that it would be good if Candace Owens didn't talk anymore about the assassination.
Here's what he wrote. Okay. What's his name? Rob McCoy. He wrote, Charlie Kirk was my friend and I was his pastor. I want to simply say this regarding Candace Owens. Charlie Kirk was a friend to Candace and never publicly spoke poorly of her, though he disagreed with her. He never operated nor entertained gossip or innuendo concerning Candace. My only comment I offer regarding Candace is this: I only wish at this tragic time of mourning, she would be the friend to Charlie Kirk that he was to her. He would never have treated Candace or her family in such a way had, God forbid, this tragedy been hers. A friend loves at all times, and he drops a biblical proverb.
You would have thought this pastor had showed up at Candace Owens' house and put her in a chokehold for the way that she responded.
I want to say to this like new flex operation mocking pastor, obviously investigating this, and I'm not going to let it go. Okay. You're not going to emotionally use some jujitsu. And I'm referring here to Roy or Rob McCoy, who says, I'm Charlie's pastor and here's the truth or whatever it is, to look the other way right now. Okay. You're not going to tell me that I have to feel too.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that, Candace. He said that right now, he just hopes that you will be a friend to him and his family the way he would have been to you and your family. God forbid had that happen to you. Meaning, you should be by Erica Kirk's side. You should be telling us, hey, I talked to Erica Kirk today. She's doing okay. She's in good spirits. I sent some meal preps for her so she doesn't have to cook anything. You know, let her know we're ready to travel and go see her at a moment's eye if she needs it. We'll fly out to her. I mean, anything. You sitting here talking. This man is not trying to discourage you from asking questions and, you know, speaking about the shooting itself, asking questions about what's going on with it. But the obsession of it to where you're talking about, oh, it has something to do with Israel. Man, that is a step too far. When Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel, from my understanding, was pro-Israel and possibly a Protestant. I mean, I don't even need to know those things to know that you don't have to infer anything about the Israeli prime minister or Israelites or Protestants at all. If you're just asking questions about, okay, how could the shooter carry the gun to the roof? Like, those are two different things. This is insane. This is how she's talking to this man's pastor. This is her friend that she claims to love and respect. His pastor. It's so disrespectful. It's not even funny. No one cares if you like him. He's still a man of God. He might not be perfect, but what he said was appropriate. He didn't say anything out of pocket to her.
Bad to investigate who shot my friend in front of my face.
So to say, he wasn't shot in your face. He was shot in Eric's face. So
I hope that Charlie would have been the sort of friend that I'm being. Okay. He would have never. Why wouldn't Charlie Kirk have investigated if I had been killed and we were being so obviously lied to? I think you're wrong. I think Charlie was a real friend and he would not have dropped it. He would not have let it go. Least of all, because he was being emotionally manipulated by a guy who curiously kept his mouth shut when BB lied. You knew if you were really his close friend and pastor.
He would not be, Candace. He would not be saying anything about, oh, well, this has to be Bibi Netanyahu's fault. You know, Candace was too smart to be a Catholic. He wouldn't be saying anything like that. He'll be checking on your husband, making sure him and the kids are good. Hey, y'all need a meal or two or something like that. You know, however men talk. And that would have been it. He would have not have gone there knowing the damage it could do and the more pain it can bring on your husband and your kids. For the sake of the kids. Stop, Candace.
How he was feeling about Bibi Netanyahu. You knew if you were his close friend and pastor exactly the names of everybody who was intimidating him and how poorly they are misrepresenting the things that he believed. So why don't you focus on being more honest as a pastor and giving as much information as you can possibly provide so that we can continue this investigation? If you can't do this, I'm going to have to ask for your silence. Okay?
Oh my God.
Be quiet.
And if you can't do this, I'm going to have to ask for your silence. Okay? Be quiet.
She said this to a man of God.
Girl, pump the brakes.
Pastor.
I mean, what is that rage and indignation? He wasn't mean to you. He wasn't rude to you. All he said was, could you wait? Which is the same thing I was saying the other day. No one's saying you can't have a voice. No one's trying to shut down your free speech. No one's trying to say that you can't have all your crazy conspiracy theories on the side. We all have a free voice, or at least we used to. But for her to be freaking out like that at the pastor and then telling him to be quiet. Please take your own advice, lady. Right? Could you get a mirror and say that again? Because I need to understand why she's saying all the things I just wish somebody would say to her. You need to sit down. You need to be quiet. You're not telling the truth. You're being dishonest. She says that she's such good friends with Charlie Kirk. Then how come you didn't follow him on social media? How come you used to, but you don't anymore? How come you just started following his wife like a couple days after the assassination. I
See,
just don't believe you. How can you say that?
Now y'all see, I'm not crazy, because I said to myself too many times, this girl does not even talk about his wife. And now come to find out, because I believe Cherie Denise saying this, she just started following Erica Kirk on social media. When was the last time Candace and Charlie Kirk had any interaction at all? Because if she had unfollowed him, that means they weren't really communicating on social media. And you just started following his wife? You don't think people would notice that, Candace? Like, this is so crazy. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to say this is my opinion, just my observation from the lack of relationship or kinship that she has with Erica. My opinion. Some part of me feel that Candace Owens is jealous of Erica Kirk. That's my opinion. Yep, my opinion. I'm sticking to that.
She says that she's such good friends with Charlie Kirk. Then how come you didn't follow him on social media? How come you used to, but you don't anymore? How come you just started following his wife like a couple days after the assassination? I just don't believe you. How can you say that somebody was being so dishonest when you have misrepresented the closeness of your relationship to Charlie Kirk this entire investigation in order to get people to buy in to your right to discuss it? You have lied to us this whole time. Nobody's saying you didn't have a relationship with him, but was it this close? And, you know, may I also say that if it's this close, that if you were grieving Charlie Kirk to such an extent that you felt it necessary to post pictures and videos to talk about, I just am reading through his text messages to comfort myself, and here's all these pictures of he and I dancing back before, you know, we were on the come up and back before he.
But she said, but she's doing all of that. Y'all notice this. And Candace is doing this on her channel. She is putting up videos, you know, her so-called To My Friend Charlie Kirk video. It was all the times that they shared together before he got married. And the only time the wife comes up was when she texts him saying, yeah, you should marry her, and say it was, you know, it's out of whatever. And she doesn't say anything else about Erica Kirk after that. How do you say you're close friends and you're like a sister to him, and you don't even have photos to show that you hung out with him and his wife? I think Candace Owens is jealous of Erica Kirk. Now Erica Kirk is president of Turning Point USA. Oh, hell. Oh, God.
Ew, Erica.
Oh, yeah. She's definitely jealous.
You know, honestly, it feels like she's in competition for her public brief, you know, beside Erica. It feels, I saw somebody say this the other day, this feels like angry ex-girlfriend energy. And I mean, I don't know, you have a crush on the guy or something? Like, what is the problem here?
The deal.
Why do you feel like you need to publicly exercise your devotion for him when we know by every verifiable metric, every person who was in a close relationship with him can say unequivocally that you two were not like this? But if you were like this, according to how you say, why then is this your reaction to the idea of going to his memorial?
I said, there is no way we are going to this event now. There's a 0% chance. First and foremost, why are you saying it? But anybody can go to it. You just buy a ticket to the event, and you're all working to try to get me to confirm that I'm going. And you're doing this as if you're trying to like push my buttons and be like, we got to make her get into her ego so she like shows up and like posts it on social media. Nope. Actually, you know, while I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna listen to Power on my headphones and go see Ye. How's that for a memorial for Charlie Kirk? That feels like the right thing for me to do right now. I mean, I'm not going to this memorial because it's strange.
No, it's not.
Guys, is she for real right now? She wants to put on her headphones and go listen to Ye. She wants to listen to a song specifically that is all in service to self. I'm powerful. I'm amazing. Everyone's going to try to stop me, but no one will. Like, it certainly is her personal anthem for sure. But that's how you want to remember Charlie, by going to hang out with a guy who you were really impressed with yourself for being friends with him, even though everyone else is like, that crazy Nazi. You want to go hang out with this complete anti-Semite by yourself. I don't know where George Farmer, your husband, is, or your 4 kids, but forget them. Because right now you want to go be in your feelings and go listen to songs that glorify you and your power. And you want to go hang out with Kanye West. And that's how you think you're going to honor Charlie's memory. Why? Because one time you and he did a couple of events with Kanye when he was professing Christian. You want to like reach into the way back memories, you know? This whole thing feels like she's playing out an alternate reality. Like,
yes,
did she like Charlie? Did she imagine she'd end up with him? Is she trying to grieve? I mean, like, is she grieving an alternate reality? I mean, I don't know. That's probably
no. We're going to entertain that. I think that she is jealous of Erica Kirk, because if they were very, very close to where they were acting like an old married couple. I mean, they're both human. Who's to say that Candace did not have feelings, like personal feelings towards Charlie Kirk? Who's to say she didn't? Now, I'm sure if she were asked, she probably would more than likely deny it at this point. But you never know how she was feeling at that time. And if this was someone that she was very, very close to, and they're traveling, and hanging out together, and they're with each other more times than they were with their, significant others or family or friends or anyone else, that's a lot of time to bond. And I don't foresee her completely removing emotions out of that. And especially if she has not followed his wife until until the day after or the day of when he was shot. And it's almost like, you both get married, y'all both have kids and all this other stuff. At the very least, y'all don't have any photos or anything where both families got together. You and your husband go out on a double date with him and his wife. Y'all kids have play dates and go to each other's kids' birthday parties or anything like that. None of that happened. I mean, that's based on her actions and the things that she's saying, the video she's made, what she's playing is specifically like predate her getting married and him being married. It seems like, because you would show recent videos and clips if you had it, right, Candace? Wouldn't you show any recent video clips of you and Charlie Kirk and your husband and his wife and y'all kids having, an outing together or spending time with each other or visiting each other for the holidays or something like that? If you had those memories, if you had those videos and photos, wouldn't you be sharing those videos and photos? Why do you keep sharing videos and photos of just you and him before y'all even, while you were still with Turning Point? Before either of you even got married, you had a whole life after that. So did he. The only thing that she spoke of when it came to Erica Kirk was the text that she showed about him marrying her and doing it, saying it in a certain way. Because she married George Farmer, to me, way too quick. But whatever. Better to marry than to burn, I guess. I don't know. It's like they didn't even know each other long enough before they got married. But did she have like some sort of underlying feelings for him and thought that he was going to actually have some relationship with her or something? Because otherwise, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It has said nothing about being by his wife's side at all. And Erica Kirk has not said Candace's name. She has not done a post with Candace in it. And this is supposed to be like her husband's little sister or something. Come on now. That's so weird.
Said that, but the insistence that she has that she's the only one that could ever know. And I was particularly put off by this video that she made regarding the fact that she had coerced somebody from Turning Point, the guy who took down the footage behind Charlie when he was shot. And Candace just couldn't wait to see the footage. She had to see the footage. Now, I don't know about you, but many of us were completely ambushed by the footage of Charlie's murder. None of us would ask to see that again, ever. But certainly, if you were his dear friend, who would want to see another angle of the gore? But what she's concerned about is that it's not gory. What's that about, you guys? Where's the blood? Where's the blood, you guys? I'm like, I'm sorry. All over the front of him? It's just not bloody enough for her.
Two men that look rather mysterious. They appear, they move his chair, and they take down the camera that's directly or was directly behind his head. Why did they do that?
Wait a minute. She married this guy after 18 days of knowing him? That's what, 2 weeks and 4 days. 18 calendar days. Maybe she did. I'm asking a question. Candace, did you marry George Farmer to make Charlie Kirk jealous of you? Did you do that? Who married someone in 18 days? I mean, I get it if you were trying to be abstinent, something like that, better to marry than to burn sort of thing. But 18 days? You couldn't be abstinent for 90 days at least? Did you marry George Farmer to make Charlie Kirk jealous? I'm asking a question, Candace. I'm just asking a question. Because it just sounds like, yeah, RT is very delusional. It's so crazy. And he was living in England while she was in America. Yes, I know. Oh boy, I know what's going on in the Honey Bun Empress. And I'm asking a question, Candace. Did you marry George Farmer to make Charlie Kirk jealous? Because I'm starting to wonder if you married George Farmer within 18 days of knowing him, even if you were doing it just to remain abstinent from premarital sex, because you want to uphold the Bible, 18 days is still quick. Jacob had to earn, Rachel's hand. He had to work for her father for 7 years, and then the father still tried to dupe him. He ended up working for her father for what, 14 plus years before he actually was able to get Rachel? Jacob. And that's in the Bible. He had to work at least 14 years before he could marry Rachel. You married your husband after 18 days of knowing him, and y'all living in 2 different countries? Come on now. Come on now, Candace.
You can see, slow down here. He pulls out the chair. He stands on it. And yes, that would be a big no-no for a crime scene. You don't move anything. Who is that? Like, actually, I should be able to figure this out because I've got a pretty big network at Turning Point USA. I'm the person's wearing shades. I'm not recognizing the individual.
The president.
And I reach out to somebody on the inside and I'm just like,
you're not the president or the CEO of TP USA. Charlie Kirk's wife is now. So how do you think you're going to get information and get it past her? Now I'm curious to know what that dynamic would look like. She's sitting here saying, I have a pretty big reach within Turning Point USA, forgetting the fact that Erica Kirk is now the president and CEO. Someone you just started following recently.
There, he stands on it. And yes, that would be a big no-no for a crime scene. You don't move anything. Who is that? Like, actually, I should be able to figure this out because I've got a pretty big network at Turning Point USA. I'm the person's wearing shades. I'm not recognizing the individual. And I reach out to somebody on the inside and I'm just like, who's this person? And they tell me the person's name. And I go, wait a second. And I look again. I'm like, I know this person. It's been a few years, but I know this person. This person's been around Turning Point for quite some time. And I'll say this right now. He was extremely forthcoming. Like, as soon as I reached out, I just sent a text because I still had his number. And he was extremely forthcoming, immediately got onto the phone. Then I asked, okay, well, what about this camera thing? Why would you grab the cameras? And he says, because the first thing that I thought is that I better secure the footage and be helpful and hand that footage over to the feds. Well, obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me because we don't trust the feds. I'm like, just send me the footage.
Okay, but it's not about you. It's not. Do y'all hear this? Candace, you're a narcissist. Candace Owens is a narcissist. We don't trust the feds. You don't trust the feds. But he did the right thing. What if Erica Kirk told everyone at Turning Point USA, if Candace Owens calls you all for information, you must contact me first. It needs to come through our legal department. Our legal and compliance department will take in her request and we will handle it accordingly. No more of her reaching out to people here in this company. And I don't know why she's doing it, who she's reaching out to, whether or not she's doing something that's legal or not, or that would be appropriate. What if Erica Kirk just flat out said, I am the president and CEO of Turning Point USA. No one is to reach out to my employees unless they come through me. Now Candace Owens would be forced to have to go through Erica Kirk. How would that look, Candace Owens? How would that look?
Secure the footage and be helpful and hand that footage over to the feds.
You did the right thing.
Obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me because we don't trust the feds. I'm like, just send me the footage, please. Let me look at it. There's a lot of conspiracies that are floating around right now. People don't know what to believe. I said, look, I'm not going to publish it. I just want to see it.
I just want to see it.
She just published it.
And I think you should let me see that because people trust me. They know that I'm very. stands on it. And yes, that would be a big no-no for a crime scene. You
that's
don't move
publishing it.
anything. Who is that? Like, actually, I should be able to figure this out because
Yeah.
I've got a pretty big network at Turning Point USA. The person's wearing shades. I'm not recognizing the individual. And I reach out to somebody on the inside and I'm just like, who's this person? And they tell me the person's name. And I go, oh, wait a second. And I look again. I'm like, I know this person. It's been a few years, but I know this person. This person's been around Turning Point for quite some time. And I'll say this right now. He was extremely forthcoming. Like, as soon as I reached out, I just sent a text because I still had his number. And he was extremely forthcoming, immediately got onto the phone.
Exactly.
Then I asked, okay, well, what about this camera thing? Why would you grab the cameras? And he says, because the first thing that I thought is that I better secure the footage and be helpful and hand that footage over to the feds. Well, obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me because we don't trust the feds. I'm like, just send me the footage, please. Let me look at it. There's a lot of...
Obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me. As if they need her permission to do the right thing and to hand over the footage to the feds. As if they would need to go through her. And all the while, Erica Kirk now is the president and CEO of this company.
Well, obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me because we don't trust the feds. I'm like, just send me the footage.
You can't just send me the footage. Candace, she is a complete narcissist. She's a narcissist, Candace. You don't run Turning Point USA. You don't work there. You're not the president. You're not the CEO. You're not a nothing there. You can have your connections and your friends and associates and all that other stuff, but you are also not the feds. You are also not the feds. So you don't trust the feds. You're trying to tell someone some very bad advice, by the way. Don't hand it over to them. Hand it over to me because we don't trust the feds. No, you don't trust the feds. I'm handing it over to them. And if you don't like it, call my boss. That's how that conversation should have went. You know what? You can reach out to my boss at any time. I think you know her very well. Her name is Erica Kirk. She's sitting here saying, I'm like, just send me the footage. Can't make this up.
Please let me look at it. There's a lot of conspiracies.
Let me look
around
at
right
it.
now. People don't know what to believe. I said, look, I'm not going to publish it. I just want to see it.
And she lied.
I just want to see it.
And I think you should let me see that because people trust me. They know that I'm very serious about this. So
Okay, you see it? You should let me see it because people trust me. The deception in her eyes. Look at that face. Boy, you are one deceiver.
I just want to see it.
Look at that deception.
And I think you should let me see that because people trust me. They know that I'm very serious about this. So in the short run, he agrees that rather than send the footage, he will get onto a FaceTime call with me and he will show me the footage on his computer. He did that and I watched the footage and I'm going to tell you what I saw. First and foremost, there was nothing gory about this shot at all. And so again, I am still going to work with him to get me the footage so that I think it should be shared. There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood.
I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood.
That's a
From the back.
That
I'm
is
very
a lie.
confused, not by what I saw.
Yeah, I just played a video yesterday where there's blood splatter that comes from the back of his head. Or it looks like kind of more towards the back of his head. But then it also had blood splatter out of his neck. That would have been captured on at least 2 different cameras. How do you have that camera right there above him and you don't see any blood? What are you talking about? The videos of him getting shot has blood in every video angle. This is someone that just said, people trust me. You know, we don't trust the feds. People trust me.
I said, look, I'm not going to publish it. I just want to see it.
I just want to see it.
She lied so
And
easily.
I think you should let me see that because people trust me. They know that I'm
Look at
very
her eyes.
serious
Look
about
at eye
this.
contact.
So
Y'all see the eye contact here? That's an indication she's lying. She's not even looking dead in the camera when she says that. We need Dr. Todd Grande. He needs to do a body language thing on this video. Dr. Todd Grande will tear this video up. He would be so calm about it. I think that, here is where you have the indicator. that she's lying and she's not able to face the camera as she does it, because she continues to look away to her left or to her right. And she specifically looks to her right. It's like, what are you looking at? Dr. Todd Grande is awesome.
See it.
I just want
Look at
to
that.
see it.
And I think you should let me see that because people trust me. They know
Look
that
at
I'm
it. 3,
very
4
serious
times.
about
Look at
this.
it. Keep
So
looking to-
in the
Man,
short
you
run,
can't
he
make this
agrees
up. That girl
that
lying
rather than
like
send the
hell.
footage, he will get onto a FaceTime call with me and he will show me the footage on his computer. He did that, and I watched the footage, and I'm going to tell you what I saw. First and foremost, there is nothing gory about this shot at all. And so again, I am still going to work with him to get me the footage so that I think it should be shared. There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood.
I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood.
From the back. I'm very
This is so
confused,
weird.
not by what I saw, but what I didn't see. Okay. That's pretty much all I can tell you right now.
But see,
Oh
if she
my
waited long enough,
God.
she would have found out that the surgeon said that the bullet went through his neck and then miraculously the bullet didn't come out the other side. It should have. This bullet could kill an elk. And that was this miraculous event that the surgeon talked to Erica about. And then that has come out over time, that there was no exit wound, that the bullet had lodged in Charlie, making
can't
sure that
make this
all the
up.
people who were standing behind him on the other side of the tent didn't get killed by that stray bullet. But see, she looked like a goon sitting there being like, where's the blood? That's really interesting. I have questions. I have a lot of questions. Yeah, so do I, Candace, as to why you would want to see more blood and gore. Why you would twist the arm of the guy
Oh
who
my
took down the footage.
God.
And you had all kinds of questions. I mean, you were just like, before she ever found out that it was somebody that she trusted, because initially it didn't look like somebody she knew. So she had all kinds of shade to throw at this person who was potentially getting in the way of a crime scene. Once
Yeah,
she finds
Candace is out
out
of
that it's
touch
someone
with
she knows,
reality.
then she won't leave the guy alone until he finally FaceTimes her and shows her the footage that he currently has, but he's not willing to send her. I've seen the footage, you guys. And the footage, I don't understand it. It's not gory at all. Well, praise the Lord for that. I'm glad that you didn't have to see another angle of your friend's death since he was so dear to you. This is a person who has just dealt with this in a really sad way. And I know that because she likes to investigate things and this is such a horrifying thing that you would probably go to your
This is
toolbox
an
and use the tools you're most
investigation.
comfortable using.
This is
But
just
nobody seems in
deception.
her inner circle seems to have the will to tell her to stop. And unfortunately, she has an entire
No, I mean, and you know what's so crazy? Her hardcore supporters, they're not gonna tell her to stop either. They're not gonna tell her. They're not gonna sit here and think about this rationally and think, you know, how can we phrase something like this to have her at least inquire without being accusatory? You know, what facts and evidence could we use to possibly show her, or at least get her to understand this from an empathetic stance and to consider his wife and children right now, who were there in person witnessing their father husband get shot and perish before their face, before their eyes. You know, because you have stuff like this coming up. Nothing to do with no facts, just name calling and nonsense. If this is how her supporters feel here, how are they even being empathetic towards Erica Kirk and the two children? Because this isn't about me. This is about what she's doing that could be hurting his wife and children. The information that she's sharing, that's not really helpful towards any investigation, nor should she be telling someone not to turn over evidence to the feds. And understanding that he can always make a copy. It wouldn't be the only copy of that video because, you know, in reality, that's not how it works. But if this is how her supporters think, where this is what they want to leave in comments, where people are having thoughtful conversations about things. I've sat here and said, why is it that she couldn't be by Erica Kirk's side? Ask questions, do her content, put information out as it comes along that's at least based on facts. Well, if this is the mindset of her supporters, where they're not, you know, showing that they have any common sense or intelligence or very learned or mastered the English language or, you know, apparently have failed to pick up a book or two in their lives, and they go to name calling because reasons. Then who can tell her? Who can? Because this is it. This is what's defending her. Something like this. This person like this is defending her. This is supposed to be him defending her for reasons. And that's what they go to. If this is the best that they could come up with using these terms where they can't make complete sentences and they have to go out and attack people and say nonsense, of course they're not going to be able to formulate sentences to raise to Candace Owens to get her to understand it is more important for you to be by Charlie Kirk's wife's side, who's now a widow with 2 children, than it is to sit here and worry about whether someone is submitting over video evidence to the feds, which is exactly where it should be going. That's how they think. And the fact that she can't say, Candace has not said anything about having a relationship of any sort or a friendship with Erica Kirk. And she's overstepping the authority that Erica Kirk has as the president and CEO of Turning Point by telling someone that works there, don't send this video footage to the feds as an employee of Turning Point. That oversteps the authority that Erica Kirk has, because Erica Kirk would want her employees to at least do the right thing and to maintain integrity. Even if you make a copy of the video, you send it to where it needs to go. And if he wanted to, let's say, share parts of it with Candace Owens, I would hope moving forward that all of the employees at Turning Point know you need to go through your boss. You got a boss. That's the crazy thing about it. Erica is the one who should be asking the questions, not Candace. Erica should be the one asking, hey, why did you take down that camera that was behind my husband? I just want to know, is that standard protocol here? Did you make sure you give a copy over to the police department so they can do their investigation? That's how you handle that situation. Candace, you don't override or overstep the authority of Erica Kirk. You just don't. And then you're telling someone to do something that is unethical. It could be obstruction more so than anything else. Because if anything could be used to help figure out the shooter and what happened, and it helps the investigators do that, you're not an investigator, Candace. You are not the FBI. You shouldn't ever tell someone not to submit over evidence to the FBI. Whether you trust them or not is irrelevant. How they handle that information, what they use it for, how they treat the information, you can say after the fact, you know what? We sent over all this information to them. They didn't even mention it. They didn't bring it up. It didn't show up in the indictment. It's not on the exhibits list. Then you can, say, this is why we don't trust them. But you have to at least hand it over to them. What if he didn't have a choice and he was told to do that? Then that could be obstruction. You can't withhold evidence either, Candace. This is someone who obviously doesn't know the law. Oh, Lord. I can guarantee you, God forbid if it were the other way around. Charlie Kirk would never, ever tell anyone to withhold video footage that should be going over to the feds. Because, people like this are sending comments like this that's supposed to be supporting her, I guess. Why do I need to attack white people? I don't need to do that. What does that have to do with Candace is black? So I shouldn't have commentary and my opinion and exercise my free speech and expression on my platform that you've somehow managed to roll your way over here. in a sluggish manner. Very sloppy. And speak on what I'm observing concerns that many people have about Candace Owens. Because she's black, I should be doing it because she's white. If she was white, though, I'm not understanding your point. You're making no sense. Her beauty rich. Yeah, well, she can enjoy that. I'm glad she's rich. That way, when the judge orders her to pay out that judgment to the First Lady of France, she can't have any complaints about it. And what I'm going to do is post up your comment to say, hey, her supporters confirmed that she's rich, so she can't go around saying she's broke. Her supporters out here saying she's rich and beautiful. Rich is the key word. So Brigitte Macron, go ahead and sue for $10-20 million because her supporters are confirming she's rich. She can't say she's broke. Candace, you got your little goons over here, saying the opposite of what you're saying in videos. That's how we handle trolls here, honey. I don't know. It's taboo. You confirming the fact that she's got money. Thank you. That way she has no excuse when she goes to court after having defamed the First Lady of France. And that judgment is issued against her. Good luck to that. You confirmed that she's got money. Absolutely, Manny. Sure thing. Let's get back to this video, you all. And then we got Michael Savage after this. And I think that will conclude that. Because this is something else right here. I love this video. And Cherie Denise, awesome.
Cult of personality who will defend her to the end. I've seen them. They've been in my comment section. And you know what? Some of y'all are particularly mean. I don't think that being hateful and cruel towards somebody who questions Queen Bee is helpful to your psyche.
Trolls.
Because it's good to be able to say, you know what? She might have gotten this one wrong. And some of you may want to continue to follow everything she does and says. And, maybe you don't completely agree with the way she handled this Charlie Kirk thing, but she was totally right about this other stuff. That may well be. But you know what? For me and for my house, I don't think we're going to be following Candace anymore because I feel like this is a person who has let the pride of ego cripple them at a time when, you know what, there is a lot of corruption going on in the world. For sure. I don't disbelieve every conspiracy I've ever believed, but we have to be careful that we're not just seeing everything as some giant conspiracy. And coming out and trying to include Charlie Kirk's assassination in her distrust and dislike of Israel is such bad thinking. When you have Nick Fuentes coming out, like it wasn't Israel, Candace, you have lost the plot.
I know, right?
So I just wanted to say to you guys, I apologize for perpetrating a conversation, telling you guys stories, insinuating somehow that I knew this story to be so true I was willing to tell you. I didn't know. And I was only going off of the storytelling of somebody else that I heard. She could be totally right. But I just feel like I want to be able to be a person that you can trust. And I want to be a person who, if I get something wrong, I'll tell you. In the last video, I said that Eric Bowling, who had been on a clip, I said that he was a Turning Point USA board member because that's what he said. And all these people being like, oh, you're a dishonest person. Candace says that he isn't. Well, he's what's considered an honorary board member. And I think he felt that he was being honest when he said that. He's still very much involved. And I got wrong the fact that Candace Owens had been on a speaking tour and had done a tour with them last year, though she wasn't invited to the same speaking tour this year. But as recently as last year, she had done an event with Turning Point USA. So, when I need to correct something, I will. And I want to be a source of information for you that doesn't just feel like, oh, she's just peddling the same narratives or the same crazy stories everybody else is. I want this to be a place of truth where I can. Doesn't mean we won't still have fun and talk about interesting things. We always will do that. But just if I sense that I'm just peddling some gobbledygook because wouldn't it be weird and cool? Don't you want to know too? Like, I just need to be more careful about that. So I'm just sorry for anybody who watched any of my videos and felt like I was telling you something that I knew to be 100% correct, which I didn't know to be 100% correct. And the Brigitte Macron story is wild enough on its own. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to buy into, believe, and then propagate a certain narrative that she's also was born a man. Maybe she was, Candace does have a lot of compelling talk about it, but I don't know that to be a fact. And how dumb would I feel if later everything came out and I just sat here in my little closet and was like, and guess what, guys? And guess what, guys? How pathetic of me. So again, if you find any videos where I was talking about Brigitte Macron and I've, neglected to take them down or didn't remember I talked about in that video, please comment below and I'll make sure that I take those down. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Welcome to the Savage Nation. It's very late at night. I've been resisting.
So this next video here is Michael Savage, and this will be the last one we check out, because I wanted to check out Jay Witt's video he did as well, because it was so funny at the end. But this one here is Michael Savage, and he is basically responding to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson for dangerous Jew hating rhetoric. He did back on the 16th, and he went off. So it's only like 8 minutes long. So I definitely wanted to show this one here. So let's tune into this one. Let me see if I can get one of the mods to drop Michael Savage YouTube channel in link in the chat. That would be fantastic. And then guys, put a 1 in the chat if you can see it here. Let's go.
Doing a broadcast today, I started in my mind to write 3 of them, but this is the only one I want to talk about. It'll be very brief. I didn't know who Candace Owens was. I know she had a large following. I know the right wing loved her.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly she started to link my commentary to her site, and we got a lot of visitors through Candace Owens. So the more I looked into it, the realization occurred to me that she is nothing different than a black racist of. Now, let's just use logic for 2 minutes and I'll put to rest the lies that Candace Owens is putting out about Jews. And she's going to wind up getting Jews killed if she keeps this shit up. Let me be very clear. She's not nuts.
Ooh.
She's not nuts at all. She just has latched on to a methodology to get morons to listen to her and tries to put pieces together that don't match. So she says that Netanyahu killed Charlie Kirk, or Israel killed Charlie Kirk, more specifically. Well, let me ask you something. If that was true, how long do you think Candace Owens would be breathing? If Netanyahu and Mossad is so all-powerful and so demonic that they could kill people in Lebanon with exploding pagers, they can kill people in Iran who develop nuclear weapons, but they can't get to Candace Owens, some loser from Nowhereville, some Palookaville nobody who dropped out of college, who has no degrees and claims she has 2 degrees. Yes, that matters. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We had enough of Al Sharpton. We had enough of, who was that preacher? Who I don't even see if he's around anymore, the black nationalist preacher. He preached the same shit for years. The Jews did this, the Jews did that. Let me tell you something. That's the rhetoric that's going to get people killed, Candace. Shut your fucking mouth. Period. And don't link me. I don't need you. I've been around long before you. I don't need your goddamn audience to follow me. They can all go fuck themselves if that's the shit they believe in. And I don't give a damn if you don't like me cursing. I've had enough of this. Charlie Kirk loved Israel. He spoke highly of Israel. And she says they killed Charlie Kirk. Do you understand how dangerous her rhetoric is?
Yeah.
This nobody from Nowhereville, this nowhere palooka, this nothing, this uneducated dolt who came out of nowhere and attracted an audience of unwashed morons who want to hate Jews and blame Jews for the loss in their own life.
Mm-mm-mm.
You don't have a girlfriend, it's the Jews. You lost your job, it's the Jews. Now, don't get me wrong. I have criticized liberal Jews my entire career. I hate liberal Jews more than you can imagine. I hate Larry David. Let me be very clear. I think he's a piece of shit. I hate Adam Schiff. I think
Larry David? Is that radio show host? Larry David.
He's vermin. I hate Charles Schumer. I think he's the lowest kind of Judenrat from the concentration camps. So don't put me in the category of the Judenrats and the Larry Davids. But on the other hand, try to use your fucking brain for 2 seconds, you Nazi bastards, you.
What? Oh, my God.
You believe this black racist bitch who says the Jews killed Charlie? Nothing good could come of that other than some unhinged lunatic like the trans-loving prick who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk can go crazy and kill some Jews in a synagogue because of this deranged black who's making a bundle demonizing Jews the same way Hitler did. She's a Louis Farrakhan in a dirty skirt. I'll admit it's late at night. And I'll admit that I can't take any more of this blaming of the Jews shit. I know that most Christians don't go along with the Candace Owens and the Tucker Carlsons. They're making a fortune by demonizing Jews, and they say it's only Israel. They're full of shit. They're full of shit, by the way.
He said that wine with that ice.
So I'm going to end the way I began. It's a very short one. You're going to use logic and reason. The same Netanyahu, the same Mossad that she says killed Charlie Kirk because he was softening on Israel, couldn't kill her in 2 seconds. The same people who half of the Hamas in Lebanon, the same Jews who blew up Iranian nuclear scientists.
And let me be clear on this. He is not saying for her to be hurt or anything. He's not. what he's saying is, if you're going to sit here and say that, anyone in Israel has something to do with Charlie Kirk's death, why would they target him when he was pro-Israel, but not target someone who was completely against Israel? What would be the intent or the purpose of them targeting Charlie Kirk? That's the whole thing. What would be the intent? What would be the reason why they would target Charlie Kirk and not a Candace Owens or a Tucker Carlson? Not that he's saying that they should, but he was like, that make sense. And how do you go to that type of accusation without any evidence? Because it's a strong accusation. No one wish any ill will on Candace. I don't. I want her to get her mind right. If she had a friendship with Charlie Kirk, you should be friends with his wife. You cannot sit here and gloat over a friendship with a married man and not recognize his wife at all, except in one text where you told him, yeah, go ahead and marry her out of whatever it said in the text. It's so crazy. So he's like, why would they go for a Charlie Kirk, but not a person who completely hates Israel? Like, it doesn't make sense. I think she is too. I think she's grifting hard. She's got over 5 million subs now. I can do that, Manny. I'm gonna make you a mod. I just have to get your YouTube channel handle, and I'll save it. But I definitely will after the live is ended. Okay. Absolutely. I appreciate anyone that wants to be a mod. That's that's a blessing to me. But it's like, why would you want to go out and you can't say you have a friendship beyond a text where you told him, hey, yeah, maybe you should propose to her out of necessity or whatever they said. And you knew he was pro-Israel. Y'all didn't even agree on that. And it's like, a lot of things they didn't agree on. But the first thing you say is, yeah, well, when Bibi Netanyahu was asked about it, and wah, 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 wah. I mean, girl, where is this coming from? Everybody who was watching that video was like, where is she getting this from? Just like she said, we don't trust stiff hands. Okay, that's you. You're trying to bring everyone else into this we. Who is we? That's what the young man at Turning Point should have asked her. Who is we? What do you mean we don't trust the feds? You don't trust the feds. I don't have a problem with the feds. How you gonna sit here and say we don't trust? Like I'm in this with you? No, it's just you and you yourself and you alone in it. We want the feds to investigate this, and we want them to do it right, and we want it to be thorough. We want them to have all the evidence they need to do it the right way. Withholding the evidence from them would only hurt the investigation. How would that make sense? And there's a lot of people in our judicial branch of government that I don't trust. There's a few judges I don't trust. It doesn't stop me from still going to seek legal resolution in the court of law if I need to. My godmother's a federal judge. So, of course, that would be the route I would go if I needed to go that route. Me distrusting a few biased judges that fail to be impartial and fair should not mean that I don't go to court and seek legal resolution. Just like her not just trusting, people within the Justice Department does not mean that they shouldn't be tasked to do their job, which is to investigate, crimes on this level where it falls under their purview, under their jurisdiction. And that's the issue. And they work with other agencies as well. But telling someone not to surrender over videos because you don't trust the feds is insane. I don't know who Kash Patel is. Like, I don't know anything beyond his title, right? I don't need to know that in order to know he's the head of the FBI or something like that. But let his ass step out of line. And something happens and he decides to do some sloppy work and then try to give some BS excuse. Then you can formulate your opinion and say, based on his track record of not handling evidence well or not doing a thorough investigation on these cases, he is not fit for that role. But that could be based on facts. That could be based on, some sort of foundation, a pattern of behavior. That could be based on evidence. That could be based on how he's handled, other evidence in other cases. That could have some sort of finding of fact. It doesn't have to be just all on your theory or opinion. So if he drops the ball with this, with Charlie Kirk's investigation, then you can say, I don't have this. I don't trust the feds because look how they handled this evidence. Look at how they handled, the investigation, the surveillance cameras, all the footages they were sent. They didn't even mention it. Then you can have a more of a reason to say that. She hasn't even let this thing finalize and go through all the way. It's so crazy, man. And if she still has questions, she can ask questions of them. Why don't you bring one of them on your platform and ask them about whatever they are able to answer? Ask them questions about it. Candace, that's how it's done. It's so crazy. She ranting and raving on and on and on, but can't speak of his wife at all. It's so crazy. The Bobby's channel was just created to take good shot. Yeah, y'all, trolls are trolls. Trolls are trolls. Yeah, he's gone. Probably gone. Y'all realize when it comes to, especially if a troll's got like a dude, male name or something like that, I'm not gonna sit here and go toe to toe with a man like that. I'll let the gentleman in the chat handle. Manny is awesome. Appreciate you, Manny. Thank you. I will make you a mod. Let me get through this. Because it's hard for me to pull up your. I can't get your handle out of the StreamYard chat. All I can do is click and show it, but it won't let me grab your handle. So I'll have to do it in YouTube. So I'll do it once this live stream is concluded, and you will have a wrench. Yes, you will, sir. Actually, it's a good thing. I would like to have at least 2 more gentlemen to be mods if you can. You can email me and let me know. So I got Manny. I would love to have 2 other gentlemen to kind of help be mods as well. That would be awesome. All right, let's get back to it. Michael Savage is getting savage mode. Savage mode, man.
The same Mossad couldn't kill this black racist if they wanted to. How stupid can you people be? How dumb can you be? The answer is endlessly dumb. I have nothing more to say. I've proven my point. Candace Owens, I don't need your linking my podcasts or my tweets. I don't need it. I was around long before you were. No one ever heard of you. All of a sudden, you come along and you find a new shtick. Hate the Jew. And look at this. Look how brilliant that black person is. You call her a conservative? She's no different than any of the black haters from Black Lives Matter. She's no different than the Palestinian Liberation Organization that blew up Jewish children in buses. She is no different than any of the Jew haters that I've seen in my entire life. And I've taken all day to think about speaking about this. I don't know where Tucker is coming from. What's he desperate for an audience? Who the fuck is Tucker Carlson anyway? Who the fuck made him God Almighty on a fucking pedestal? Fuck you, Tucker. Stop with the Jew hatred, Tucker. You're an asshole with your fucking bow tie. You're a liberal. You're a liberal while I was crapping conservative bricks, you schmuck you. You're going to get Jews killed outside synagogues, you fucking asshole. And that's all I have to say. Fuck all of you anti-Semitic bastards. And if you don't like it, it's too fucking bad. And I am glad. I am glad.
He is mad, y'all. He is mad. I realized he went in. Oh boy.
No, Jews didn't get Mr. Savage. Stop it, you stupid low-life Nazi shit. No one got Mr. Savage.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Savage understands reality. Mr. Savage is a Jew. Mr. Savage is a true conservative Jew, as are 30% of Jews in America, you scumbags, you right-wing bastards, you. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I am beloved by warriors in this country who don't ask me what my religion is. Men who have put their lives on the line for this nation. Respect me. So go fuck yourself.
He was
Israel
in the
did not
military?
kill Charlie. Candace Owens is trying to kill Jews. Now go fuck yourself, you unwashed, stupid Nazi bastards. Let me tell you.
Oh man, he going in. He going in. Okay. Look, we got the point of that one. Oh boy, we gonna end this on Jay Witt because yeah, we got.
I now believe there is a federal level of corruption.
Shout out to Jay Witt, my brother in Christ. He has a very good video he did. So this is gonna be what we end on because man, Michael Savage went savage. Woo, he's a beast. He went beast mode. Oh, I'm so sick of Candace. He is mad. And she tagged his video in. He did a video where he said, this doesn't make sense. I hate to go against the feds or say anything like this, but this makes no sense. It makes no sense. I mean, everyone has raised questions about various points of the investigation. I am still trying to figure out, whether it's the original shooter or the new theory about another shooter. Where does a gun come into play? Obviously, if it's two different weapons, what are the weapons? What are the bullets? At what point did the entry-exit wounds hit? Like, can we see the autopsy report? I'm at a point where I'm just like, just show me the autopsy report. At least I can have an understanding from a scientific stance. That's where I understand that most. The biology and the human anatomy of it all. So everyone has had questions about this stuff. I've even said that the indictment itself on Tyler Robinson has so many loopholes in it. It's not even funny. But not one time did I have to blame anyone in Israel for it. Not once. So shout out to Jay Witt. This is going to be the last one. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, you get trolls that come in, y'all. You talk about stuff like this. These people act like Candace Owens is paying their mortgage or something. It's just, I don't care about none of the stuff that troll was talking about. Candace Owens, maybe it was. No, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and act as if these people paying my bills. This is the freedom, the beauty of having freedom of speech and expression and freedom of the press and relaying information and have a discussion and sharing information with you all that I feel that, you all as a public deserve the right to know, correcting a narrative or dispelling and debunking lies. It's just part of being responsible here. So let's get to it. Shout out to Jay Witt. He did this fantastic video.
And conspiracy involved in this murder. I don't feel like the investigation has much integrity, or the feds in general have any integrity involved. Okay. So if you want us to, or if you want to restore credibility to the feds, I would allow the mommy sleuths to take over. We are essentially right now the decentralized intelligence agency. That's why I'm wearing our new gear here. Decentralized Candace Intelligence Agency.
She can connect any two events in history with yarn, thumbtacks, and unwarranted confidence.
Grace and peace, everybody. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. Let's get at it. Let's talk about Candace again. And let's just be honest, okay? Let's just be honest. We cannot in good faith call her Candace Owens anymore. It just doesn't make sense. It's just not the right title. And now I've seen it out there on the interweb. Shout out to Amethyst Angel, who just pointed it out to me. We are not going to call her Candaspiracy. That's the only thing that's right. That's the only name.
You know what? That's a good question you asked, Witty. So I did a video and I pulled up some information regarding the law. She got a tweet from someone named Laura Loomer on X, who pointed out the same thing about the CIA t-shirts. The law states that even if you are using a like a animated or some sort of a imitation logo of it without the permission of the CIA, that they could sue her, especially if she's earning a profit from it, which she is by selling them. So I did a separate video on that. Is Candace Owens breaking the law with the when it comes to the CIA logo? And I go over the law. There's a federal law. The U.S. code was cited in the tweet from Laura Loomer. So I pulled it up and went over it. And yeah, they would have a good case if they decided to pursue a lawsuit against her. The CIA would have a good case. She about to catch one from Benjamin Netanyahu if she don't leave that man alone. he could sue her for defamation. And then, of course, she got the one she's already facing from the Macron. She's going to have 2 heads of state suing her behind, and the CIA, potentially. And she keep pissing these people off. Can you imagine that? Candace Owens facing a lawsuit from the French president, and then ends up being hit with one from the Israeli prime minister, and then turn around and get one from the CIA. Can y'all imagine that? That girl would lose her mind.
That makes sense. Candaspiracy. So let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about what Candaspiracy has come up with as it relates to the plot holes and the inconsistencies in the narrative of how Charlie Kirk was murdered. And let me also add, before the Candaspiracy cult members jump into the comment section, I admit there is some weirdness, some inconsistencies, dare I say some problems with the narrative that's being promoted by the authorities, the official story from the government. I absolutely agree. Those plot holes, however, don't need to be turned into plot abyss that we just jump into, and the bottomless pit, or the plot holes turned into plot rabbit holes, and we're just going down this crazy land. We don't have to do that. There can be some problems, but the overall general story is true. Candace is making claims here that deny what we saw, deny the reality. This is just crazy. That's all I can say. And the amount of hubris that this woman exudes is going to be studied by science in future generations. They're going to want to study how we got this far and how we allowed her to get this crazy. So Candaspiracy, take us away.
I now believe there is a federal level of corruption and conspiracy involved in this murder, okay? I don't feel like the investigation has much integrity, or the feds in general have any integrity after you guys gaslit us about Jeffrey Epstein, okay? So if you want us to, or if you want to restore credibility to the feds, I would allow the mommy sleuths to take over. That's my opinion. I'd get in touch and allow the internet to do what the internet does, because now you're answering everything that we brought up. Not me, we. Because it is because of the entire world paying attention, sending tips. I'm grateful to God that I have a platform to be able to share that information and to encourage it. But this is just coming from regular people around the world. And now you guys are, it feels like playing defense because you have not been playing offense. So yeah, that would be my free advice. That's not going to be listened to. But while I have your attention, I do have a few more questions that could be answered, or maybe some leads that you guys could be exploring, if you will.
The fact that you think that the federal government is moving on your leads, your questions, and your inquiries, that is some nasty work. That is some really crazy, that's a crazy take, Candace, that you really think they're moving based upon what you're asking of them. And they're moving and going to answer your questions. Ma'am, some of your questions are just wackadoodle. That's just the end of the day, Candaspiracy. That's just it. They look at it and say, this is wackadoodle. And they say,
that's weird.
Ooh, look at that blue hair.
And they're not messing with you. They're not moving. I don't think, it is kind of sad to think that you really believe these people are listening to you like that. I'm not saying that everything you said is wrong, and I'm not saying that asking questions is bad. What I am saying, however, is that nobody is listening to you, because a lot of people say,
I have nothing.
When they look at what you're talking about, like, you haven't given us anything. Matter of fact, let me ask you this question for the Candaspiracy cult members. What investigation has she done that has netted? What has any of her investigations netted? Let's go with the Black Lives Matters, the Kamala Harris, the Harvey Weinstein. What investigation has she done that has netted anything lastingly? Somebody's in jail, or policies are changed, or anything of that nature. Can you show me anything that her investigations have done? And then if not, why? Why have they not net anything? Let's keep going.
Because once we began learning about...
I will say this. To be fair, she did the investigation on the BLM. The founder was discovered to have spent money inappropriately, and they are in jail. They bought a mansion with dollars that was supposed to be going towards businesses and going back to communities. Now, how soon were they charged between her investigation on Black Lives Matter versus actual charges being dropped? I don't know. I will say that. I don't know what the time frame was between her series she did on BLM and when they the founders were actually indicted on, misappropriation. I think it was like embezzlement and something else. And they, buying houses and properties and stuff like that with money that was supposed to go towards the community and businesses and stuff, especially ones that have been ruined from the protests and everything. But other than that, I mean, you know, that's a good question. Because the Brigitte Becoming Brigitte series is just for entertainment and show. That has not rendered anything factually based, you know, as far as how Brigitte and Emmanuel met and all of that. They admitted that on their own. They had already put that out there. That's not a secret. It's still inappropriate, and it still would make me mad as a mother, but it's not a secret. It's not something she uncovered. And the fact that she keeps trying to purport her theory to be a fact about Brigitte being born a man, that's just a flat out lie. So that's why she's being sued, because Brigitte Macron is over 70 years old with 3 children and grandchildren that have to continue to hear this damaging nonsense coming from her mouth because she's a narcissist with way too much pride and ego and just refuses to stop lying and making false statements she does not have irrefutable scientific evidence to support. I don't care how many series and books and anything you do when it comes to someone's gender. The only way you can prove with irrefutable proof that they are one gender or the other is with DNA. And she knows that. So her purporting her theories to be a fact is what got her messed up. And that is why she's being sued. She lied about not seeking a dismissal for that, and then turned around and actually got an extension to file a brief to support a motion to dismiss. Y'all, she has a motion to dismiss on file with the court after lying on Tucker Carlson's show and saying she was not going to seek a dismissal. Neither one of them have spoken about that bold lie she told on his show. And maybe he doesn't have the integrity on his platform either to call her out on that lie. Because Candace, you lied. You lied about not seeking a dismissal. You turned around and filed a motion to dismiss with a brief that had to be granted by a court to have the pages and term limit extended. She lied so bad. And no one's questioning her lies on this. No one's questioning the fact, even just that. Candace, you said you weren't going to seek a dismissal. What is this motion to dismiss with a brief to support it? She wouldn't even be able to answer that if she were asked that. And her diehard supporters aren't asking her that. They're not asking her, why did you file a motion to dismiss? You said you would not dismiss it. Why did you file this? How about answer that question, Candace? Because I believe you're trying to use the death of your friend to cover up the fact that you lied so bad on the First Lady of France. You lied about not seeking a dismissal. You have lied so bad about the entire situation. You're trying to hide behind the death of your friend, which was sudden. It was not expected. But now you're trying to weaponize it to hide from it, to duck from the actual Macron issue. You be at this all day. You'll just be hopping from one issue to another, trying to dodge from the lies that you're telling from the other situations. Hopefully, Erica Kirk puts a kibosh on this nonsense she's doing and puts things in perspective when it comes to Turning Point USA. Erica Kirk needs to put out a statement. I'm the boss here. I run this shit, not Candace Owens. And she can, have a great life. I mean, what the hell?
That house next door that's been vacant and is owned by UVU. And once we began looking into the witnesses and finding a common last name and looking into Caldera Engineering, as we did last week, again, not implying that they did anything wrong, just telling you factually that witness
she's literally putting a business out there as having something to do with this for no reason at all.
Yep.
She's literally naming a business with no receipts, no reason to believe anything's related to it. Now she's just putting them out there and involving them in it. That's crazy. That's some negligence. And then you want us to trust you with any kind of investigation?
Embarrassing. Close the gun.
Man, that's craziness, man. I mean, a lot of the time, this is just insane. I just can't believe that she's getting away with basically impugning a entity, a business, because they're near the location. That's craziness. Candace, and then you wonder why they say that about your investigation.
We do not care.
They don't care because Candace, you sound crazy. But wait, it's actually going to get more crazy.
Footage ended up in the hands of TMZ, runs an engineering company that has a presence worldwide, and they specialize in making these valves. I started thinking, once people told me that valves historically have a connection to the government and the deep state,
What?
about how important those valves were to warfare, because if you just want to shut down someone's pipeline.
So now valves, because there's a company that makes valves and they're near UVU, they are now getting doxxed by Candace.
But anyways, I started to
This
ask
is
myself,
crazy.
oh, well, is anybody looking into whether or not there's anything under Charlie Kirk when he was shot? Right?
What?
You heard that correctly. She said under, like sewers, like underground. She's
Y'all notice she keeps looking
there's a
to
company
the
that
right.
makes
She looks to the right when she's lying. Y'all notice look at the eye movement. I just want y'all to pay attention to it because she did it in the other video from Cherie Denise's channel. We was just checking out. Man, Dr. Todd Grundy needs to do a profile on her.
valves and they're near UVU, they are now getting doxxed by Candace.
But anyways, I started to ask myself,
Look at that.
oh, well, is anybody looking into whether or not there's
Yeah,
anything under
does
Charlie
again.
Kirk when he was shot? Right?
You heard that correctly. She said under, like sewers, like underground. She's saying that Charlie Kirk was, she's going to say in a second that he was unalived from underground. Okay,
Okay, make this
somebody needs
up
to
now.
do something to her. Somebody needs to do something for her. Get her some help. She needs help. She does. There's no way you can look at this and say that this makes sense. Let's keep going.
Because if we aren't accepting the narrative that that particular gun at that distance didn't pass through, and yet for whatever reason the Fed scrambled to repave that area, maybe, as some people have speculated, he was shot from a closer distance.
Who speculated
I started
that?
wondering, was there an access point to any valves? Were there any pipelines that could have been under Charlie? And as it turns
What are
out,
you
I looked at
talking
some old
about?
pictures of where he was
Wait a
sitting.
minute. Oh,
thinking-
God.
You wonder why they say that.
Oh, my God. Girl. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's when you didn't think this could get any crazier. I want you all to notice how many times she looks to her right. How many times she looks to her right. When she says something she either is lying about or she knows she's not sure about, and then tries to pass it off as speculation. Just pay attention.
About your investigation.
We do not care.
They don't care because Candace, you sound crazy. But wait, it's actually going to get more crazy.
Footage ended up in the hands of TMZ, runs an engineering company that has a presence worldwide, and they specialize in making these valves. I started thinking, once people told me that valves historically have a connection to the government and the deep state,
there you go.
about how important those valves were to warfare, because if you just want to shut down someone's pipeline.
So now valves, because there's a company that makes valves and they're near UVU, they are now getting doxxed by Candace.
But anyways, I started to ask myself,
Look at that.
oh, well,
3.
is anybody looking into whether or not there's anything
4.
under Charlie Kirk when he was shot? Right?
You heard that correctly. She said under, like
Like
sewers,
Smiling,
like
smirking right here.
underground. She's saying that Charlie Kirk was.
Y'all notice this? Look at this. It's like she's smirking right here. Like she's looking dead in the camera like, I can't believe I'm getting away with this bullshit. How do you say this with this blank expression on your face? No sorrow, no tears, no sadness, no nothing. Just heartless, Candace. Candace, what are you doing?
She's going to say in a second that he was unalived from
Girl,
underground.
Oh.
Okay. Somebody needs to do something to her. Somebody needs to do something for her. Get her some help. She needs help. She does. There's no way you can look at this and say that this makes sense. Let's keep going.
Because if we aren't accepting the narrative that that particular gun at that distance didn't pass through, and yet for whatever reason the Fed scrambled to repave that area, maybe, as some people have speculated, he was shot from a closer distance. I started wondering, was there an access point to any valves? Were there any pipelines that could have been under Charlie? And as it turns out, I looked at some old pictures of where he was sitting, and there was a massive pipeline that was almost exactly behind where Charlie was sitting. Here's that maybe it's a water pipeline. I don't know, but there it is under the flag.
Yeah, that's the massive pipeline. That's the massive pipeline she's talking about.
You got to be kidding me.
That's a massive pipeline right there.
Y'all
That
see
little
this?
white looks like a candy cane without the stripes. Yep, that's the massive pipeline that she's referring to, y'all. This is Candace.
And to your right I went into my tips line and I saw that somebody had messaged me about this, and more than one person messaged me about this. They're like, hey, yeah, there's like a whole underground thing there. And to your right, you're observing those two little boxes. And they told me that that was a trap door. And I remember when I looked at the footage, I felt like it was coming up.
Where? What? What? Shit. What?
A trap door. And I remember when I looked at the footage, I felt like it was coming up. I don't know anything about ballistics. I'm not an expert. But if there was a hatch door nearby, then we can assume, as we should always assume with colleges, obviously stadiums, there's always an underground path. So I'm wondering if the federal government has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that, while everyone's looking around and thinking that a shot went off from here, if that was just maybe like decoy number 2, and actually Charlie was shot from beneath him, which then could maybe explain why there was no exit wound. Maybe everyone's looking up when we should be looking below.
Candace is saying that there's no exit wound. I have no idea where.
Stop. People were standing right in front of him. Don't you think someone would have seen a hatch door open up as close as some people were to the stage, including his wife? His wife was standing right, like they were right at the canopy. Don't you think people would have seen that? At what point would someone be able to come up from underground through a hatch and no one sees that, as many people that were out there? And you're saying up close? This is unbelievable.
This conspiracy came from, that there was no exit wound, which is crazy work. But to say that the man was unalive from beneath him, why are you even theorizing that?
Put people out there.
This is embarrassing, conspiracy. This is so embarrassing.
Right? Maybe we should be looking below. Again, I don't know anything about ballistics, but I've been very clear that we will be exploring every lead until we get a proper answer for what happened. And I think that that would probably be an interesting one for the feds to explore. We are essentially right now
Why should the feds explore going into tunnels with Ninja Turtles when it's very clear? Now, if we want to argue about whether or not Tyler Robinson acted alone or Tyler Robinson was the main deleter from above ground, I think we can have that discussion.
I think many people would agree Tyler Robinson did not act alone. Many people would agree to that. Many people would agree that he did not act alone, whether someone else pulled a trigger on another gun or not. Not enough evidence, in my opinion, to say that can be confirmed. Even despite the video that's out, I didn't see a physical person. I didn't even see the bullet, and I slowed down the speed of that video to 0.25 speed. And never saw a bullet enter the back of his head, just blood splatter from the back of the head area. And it wasn't as much as it was that came from the neck. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, yep, that's definite. And I know what I am and am not seeing in videos for myself. So that's just for me to cover my behind. I'm not going to purport something that, you know how you want to see something so bad. Sometimes you end up seeing it and it can be like a mirage, or your brain, you want to see something so bad where your brain almost allows that kind of figment of your imagination to go there, and you're not seeing it in reality, but because you're imagining that because you want to see it, then you end up seeing it. I can't operate like that. But I think we can all agree that Tyler Robinson did not act solely. He was not on his own accord. He didn't act alone. Even if there were someone to help him gather camera footages or to give him the layout, to park anybody that was remotely involved in making the plans for this, would be considered an accomplice. So I don't think he was completely alone in planning this whole thing. But you're talking about someone coming up out of a hatch from underneath Charlie Kirk in an audience where thousands of people were watching, a myriad of people were recording, and no one saw right in front of their faces someone come up from underneath him. No one saw that. Oh my God.
There's going to be more evidence that comes forward. But why in the Lord's name would we believe that somebody deleted them from underneath him. And I'm glad and appreciate that she says, I don't know anything about ballistics, because I think that's key, because I think everybody knows that you don't know about ballistics, because that's not how bullets work. But let's finish up.
Decentralized intelligence agency. That's why I'm wearing our new gear here.
About this.
Decentralized Candace Intelligence Agency. And we've been able to put together a lot of this because of you guys. It's, and maybe you can't see it, but it's our, you know how we say that we are the new CIA, the Candace Intelligence Agency. No, that wasn't me saying I was in the CIA. It was me saying that we are the decentralized intelligence agency. And we dropped this line because everybody was like, we need a hat. So you can actually go get that. It's available on our website. We have new merch. It's obviously tongue in cheek. If I'm in the CIA, man, I don't know what their aim is. That would be absolutely crazy. If you want to support our decentralized intelligence.
No one said you in the CIA. You're using their logo without their permission to earn a profit. Where's her attorneys at? Obviously, they're not teaching her a damn thing. They're certainly not teaching her to stop saying that someone's a man after they filed a defamation lawsuit against you. Like, you know, she does she even listen to her attorneys? I don't think she's such a narcissist. She's not going to listen to anybody.
Agency, send us the tips to tips@CandaceOwens.com. Buy yourself a hat. Decentralized intelligence agency is all over the world. Okay, there's no way to stop us. We're just all being awakened to how evil, how sick, and how sinister it all is. Brigitte, wow, the linchpin of it all. Wait, changed outfits. Somebody commented, men don't say outfits. That's a woman thing.
Well, no, in fact,
how would you say it to make them not feel ugly?
I'd say, listen, I care a lot about you. I think that maybe you should change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits you might have.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I would say I changed my outfit. A man does not say, you just say you change clothes.
Change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits you might have.
I would not say an outfit. Outfit is very girly.
Change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits.
Okay, so is this AI or...
She can connect any two events in history with yarn, thumbtacks, and unwarranted confidence. She doesn't need sources. She is the source. She once debated herself and lost twice. Intelligence agencies follow her Twitter just to see what they're doing next. She never met an obvious explanation she couldn't turn into a confusing 2-hour podcast. She possesses priceless secrets, but will share them with anyone for a small subscription fee. In her world, all roads lead to Israel, even cul-de-sacs. She is the most kooky podcaster in the world, but then again, the feds told us to say that.
Yeah, y'all, I don't know what to do here. I am really surprised.
Oh my God. Well done, Jay Witt. Well done. Well done, Deacon. Y'all want to hear it again?
I think that maybe you should change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits you might have.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I would say I changed my outfit. A man does not say, you just say you change clothes.
Change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits you might have.
I would not say an outfit. Outfit is very girly.
Change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits.
Okay, so is this AI or...
She can connect any two events in history with yarn, thumbtacks, and unwarranted confidence. She doesn't need sources. She is the source. She once debated herself and lost twice. Intelligence agencies follow her Twitter just to see what they're doing next. She never met an obvious explanation she couldn't turn into a confusing 2-hour podcast. She possesses priceless secrets, but will share them with anyone for a small subscription fee. In her world, all roads lead to Israel, even cul-de-sacs. She is the most kooky podcaster in the world, but then again, the feds told us to say that.
Yeah, y'all, I don't know what to do here. I am really surprised that Candaspiracy has gone this route of these. Again, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I've looked at the Becoming Brigitte series.
Oh, Jay Witt. Yeah. God help the children. Lord have mercy. Oh, that was funny. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. You know what, Melissa? I realized I'm gonna think of her craziness. They only knew each other for 18 days before they got married. So I highly doubt he knows a lot of things about her. He's like he's still finding out as he goes along. He probably wondered to himself, what the hell did I marry? I would marry Tweety Bird the one that stays high on life. She just need to come down out the clouds, girl. Y'all can't make this up. The thumbtacks. Child, thank you so much, Connie, for putting in that link. Stay wacky, my friend. That's what it says. Oh my God. Y'all, mental psychosis. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're hitting 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm not trying to go into wacky VR. So I appreciate all of you all. Thank you so much to Laura for renewing your membership. I appreciate you. And the 149 super sticker. Thank you so much, Laura. Look, I appreciate it. I don't care if it's 50 cents. I appreciate it all. Thank you so much, Bernice, for becoming a new member. Shout out to you. Guys, oh man, this has been fun. Make sure you guys check out the products tab from Dr. Squatch. We have a partnership with them in the description of the video once it's concluded. Yes, I'm going to give Manny a wrench. I would love to have 2 additional gentlemen be mods as well. It kind of curbs the dumb trolls. You know, I don't understand why grown men be trying to come after women. That's so cowardice. But it's just, you know, it'd be nice to have a couple extra gentlemen to be some mods to tame the male trolls that come up in here. So yes, as soon as I'm done, Manny, this concludes. You will get a wrench, my friend, and I appreciate you, our chief receipts officer, for even volunteering. I appreciate that. She did an episode interview with him on her channel at Bougie. I'm sure he lays in bed at night like, what the hell I do? Yeah, he had to look to the heavens like, what I do you, Lord? For one of them burning Macs. What do you, Lord? You can't believe this. Oh man, he's kind of soft spoken. I think I've seen parts of an interview he did with someone else. It wasn't on her channel, but it was with another I don't know if it was a content creator or another radio station. But he has been on a couple interviews, but he's low key. I mean, it's hard to kind of imagine him being just as narcissistic as she is, because you know, opposites don't always attract. It don't always attract, but he can't be nowhere near her. He just can't. She carries the narcissism for the both of them. And yeah, he's very quiet. Okay, cool. And he doesn't like being out front. Yeah, he seems like he's real laid back. So that poor guy, they got 4 kids together though. So they in it forever. In it forever. And, you know, it's just hopefully he learned his lesson. Oh my God. All right, enjoy them lawsuits, bro. Hope you at least tell your wife one day, you know, you getting us effed up financially. You messing us up. $220 million. We're about to lose 10 of that to give to the first lady of France, because you won't stop calling her man. Candace, I only have one question. Why did you lie to everyone and say that you were not going to seek a dismissal in that lawsuit and then turn around and file a motion to dismiss? And please know, I understand how court works. I do know that is a standard part of civil procedure. You, however, did not. And yet you put your foot in your mouth when you said you were not going to seek a dismissal for the Macron lawsuit. And then you turn around and filed a motion to dismiss with a brief to support it. I just want to answer to that question. Don't dodge that question. It's a very important question, Candace. I'm gonna tag Dr. Todd Grande and ask him, can you please do a psych profile analysis on Candace Owens, because we all need that. We just need that to happen at this point. Y'all, so y'all been such a great audience. I appreciate all of you. Shout out to all my mods. Manny to be one soon, very soon as we're done. And shout out to all of you that tuned in, participating in the chat, listening in the bushes. Just hit that like button. And thank you all for the supers, the memberships. Thank you all for your support. We will be back tomorrow where we we will be having a watch party on Carbonation Nature Boy, aka Eligio Bishop, the cult of Atlanta that's still here. Well, he still got 3 women talking about his wives. So we're gonna have that watch party, you all, so y'all can understand this cult-like personality and how, you know, we got to be able to recognize the signs to keep this from happening. So either way, you guys hit the like button on the way out and leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, and we can do more Candace, live streams, because she's got a lot of content. And until the next one, good night to all of you. Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.